Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you've seen my other video about the CAT reducing questions this year, and I'm back with the series, the 50 must know questions in quants. Today we are in question 10 on that, and I hope I'm loud and clear to all of you, and welcome to this session. Just a reminder, please do share the videos, do like the videos, do comment on the videos, and do comment on the session. There's an interesting question I've picked up today for you. Do comment on the solution that I'm going to show it to you. It's actually a simplistic way of looking at otherwise what is a very complicated question. So let's try to understand without any further ado. Do subscribe to the channel, and do make sure that you click the bell icon so that you know whenever I'm live, which I try to be quite often on this channel. And all of you here with me, Arun Sharma here, and this is the question for you. Have a look at this question, and you can try to do this question if you want. You can try to do this question. I'll try to show you two ways at least of solving this question as we move ahead. So the question is saying the price of Darjeeling tea in rupees per kilogram is 100 plus 0.1 N. Is 100 plus 0.1 N on the nth day of the year 2007. On the nth day of the year 2007, N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 100, and then remains constant. So when you read this part, of the question, what you have to basically understand is that they are telling us that the price of Darjeeling tea is 100 plus 0.1 N on the nth day of the year 2007, and they have qualified this function of 100 plus 0.1 N. They have qualified this function by saying that N equals 1 to 100 and then remains constant. So you have to first understand and take in what this is telling us. So on the nth day of the year 2007, the price of Darjeeling tea, so you can see that this is actually a linear function, 100 plus 0.1 N, but in this case, N is only taken from 1 to 100. That means this linear growth function is happening only for 100 days, and after that it remains constant, right? This is the price of Darjeeling tea. The next information they tell us, on the other hand, and this is a question from a previous year CAT paper. So, and then for all aptitude exams, these questions become very important because most of the aptitude exams are moving towards tougher questions, and hence you should, if you're preparing for any exam, not just CAT, you should know these questions because they are critical questions and critical thought processes that exist inside these questions when you're talking about quants, right? So coming back, on the other hand, the price of UTT in rupees per kilogram is 89 plus 0.15 N on the nth day of 2007. N is equal to 1 to 365. So when you read this, and if you try to analyze what this is saying, they are giving you a linear function for UTT's price also. And the price of UTT is 89 plus 0.15 N. 89 plus 0.15 N. N is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to 365. This is the price of OTT, right? So that means this is a linear function which is continuing to grow every day of the year, right? This is the second information that you have in this question. The question then goes on to say, on which date in 2007 will the prices of these two varieties of tea be equal? On which day in 2007 will the two prices be equal? So what a lot of people started doing for this question, and I'm going to show you two ways of doing this question. The first is the algebraic method, and that's what I'm trying to go through with you here first to start with. The algebraic method here is that you equate the two functions. So when you equate the two functions, because you want the price, this is the function defining the price of Darjeeling tea. This is the function which is talking about the price of OTT, and the question is asking you about the price of the two T's being equal. So equate the two functions and you solve for n. 100 plus 0.1 n is equal to 89 plus 0.15 n. And when you solve it that way, you get 11 is equal to 0.05 n. And if you solve that, you will get ns 220 days. And there's a problem with that answer. The problem with that answer, first problem with that answer is that it's not there in the options. 220 days will typically mean somewhere in July, August, end of July, early August, definitely early August. July will definitely pass by, and it's not there in the options. But the bigger problem there, why it's not there in the options, because this answer is not right, because of the fact that this function is only increasing till 100. So if you had got an answer of n below 100 for the prices to be equal, then you could have taken that answer. So inside the exam, a lot of people could not see this, got stuck at this point. Those who saw that started realizing that they have to modify the solution, because the equality is happening after 100 days. Because the equality, if both these functions continue for 365 days, then they would be equal on 220 days. So because the equality is happening after 100 days, the process will change to saying that after 100 days, with n as 100, the price of Darjeeling tea will become constant at 110 rupees, and you just have to find when this price will become 110. So the logic of solving this changes to 89 plus 0.15 n is equal to 110. So if you solve this, you will get 21 rupees is equal to 0.15 n. And if you solve this, then to n ka value 21 divided by 0.15, 21 divided by 1.15, which I think is 140. So 140 days of the year. So you then have to calculate 140th day of the year. So 31 days in January, 20, this is 2007, so 28 days in February, 31 days in March, that's 90, and 30 days in April, that's 120, and followed by 20 days in May. So the correct answer will be May 20th, and that's the answer to the question. But I think this process, and a lot of people, most people solve this question using this process only. So this process is, I think, too complicated for something so simple. Why do I say something so simple? Is because there's something which is very obvious in this question, which you have to miss before you start solving it like this. And what is obvious in this question is that rather than looking at these as algebraic functions, if you just read them with a little bit of language thinking, what does 89 plus 0.1 n mean? What does 100 plus 0.1 n mean? If you think about it in language terms, it means that it's at 100 and increasing 100 rupees and increasing by 10 paise per day for 100 days and then stopping. So if I change this thought into a language that the Darjeeling tea price is 100 plus 10 paise per day for 100 days and then constant, while the price of OTT is 89 plus 15 paise per day for all 365 days. So the thinking that will get you this solution in 10 seconds flat is this. The thinking that will get you this solution in 10 seconds flat is this, that the gap between the two prices on the start of the year is 11 rupees. Just think like this. 11 rupees is the gap, so Darjeeling tea, OTT has to catch up with Darjeeling tea for 11 rupees. Since we are thinking in paise, the logical thought is to think about 1100 paise. And for the first 100 days, Darjeeling tea is increasing by 10 paise per day, OTT is increasing by 15 paise per day. So OTT is catching Darjeeling tea by 5 paise per day. So in 100 days, 500 paise catch up will happen. So if 500 paise catch up has happened, after 100 days, 600 paise will remain the gap between, this is the gap between the prices of Darjeeling tea and OTT. 600 paise is now the gap between the prices of Darjeeling tea and OTT. And after this, Darjeeling tea price stops growing. OTT price is now growing at 15 paise per day. So it's like the horse and it's like the rabbit and the tortoise. The rabbit has stopped running. The tortoise is now continuing to run at 15 paise per day, and it has to cover a distance of 600 paise. So in that context, at 15 paise per day, at the rate of coverage of gap being 15 paise per day, 600 paise ka coverage will happen in 40 days, and hence 100 days followed by 40 more days gives you 140. And this whole thought you could have executed without actually writing anything, and hence this is a 15-second thought, 140 days. And the last thing is to find out what is the 148th day of the year. 31, 28, 31, 30. So April is 120 and May is 20 more days. So 140 days is the answer, and hence May 20th is the correct answer to the question. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll just repeat that part. What you have to perceive. I mean, if you think functions, if you're thinking equations and functions, you'll simply miss that entire logic. But if you start thinking about this like a time speed distance question, one guy is ahead, the other guy is behind, the gap is 1100 paise, and the speed at which this guy is running is 10 paise per unit time, and this guy is running at 15 paise per unit time. So the gap is getting covered at 5 paise per unit time for the first 100 days. So in 100 days 500 paise a gap will get over, 600 paise gap बच गया. उसके बाद ये दौड़ना बंद कर दिया. This guy stopped running. Darjeeling tea has stopped increasing price. OTT is covering it at 15 paise per day. So 40 days more for 600 paise, and that's the simple thought. And I'm quite sure when I talk about these processes, I'm quite sure that the people who set these questions definitely know about how to solve such questions through these thoughts, and they know that these thoughts exist. It is not that somebody like me or discovers this suddenly out of the blue. The people who set the paper deliberately keep these questions available for you inside the exam, so that if you are smart enough to think on your feet, you are actually able to apply your problem solving resources of your logic to situations which are otherwise quite complex in mathematical terms. So do tell me how you like the solution, and I'll come back with more in the next session. Bye for now.